Eating Soup Alone is a podcast hosted by me, Christopher Crumley, and co-hosted by Nicholas Johnson. We try our best to ramble incoherently about a handful of movies at least once a week.
I'm warning you right now, I gotta pee so bad.
Oh, we'll hit it.
I want to see how long it can last.
Interesting choice.
See if I get jittery in the middle of one of these movies.
Think she's gonna wake you up or something?
I really hope so.
Well, we should probably talk about send help first, right?
We should.
That would be the polite thing to do to whoever's listening to this podcast, because that's for sure what they clicked for.
Yeah. You know what I noticed something the other day that I'm just thinking about now. Might cut it out of this or not. Who knows? I was looking because I couldn't remember what the other movie we were supposed to watch was this week, and so I went to our thing on Spotify. It sections out parts of the podcast by topic.
Oh, really?
With AI. Assumedly. I was like, I'm sure Chris isn't doing this.
No, I'm not doing that.
Like, I was looking at it, like, scrubbing through the last episode, and like, one of them was just called Safety Drama. And I was like, that's me and Chris just talking about stuff. It's so weird for it to have a title called Safety Drama.
For sure. Absolutely. Wow. Well.
So let's see if this episode, when we upload it, the first part is Spotify AI auto categories.
How funny if you were looking through our old episodes and it just said, like, one of the sections was racist rant.
Like, Nick is jealous he doesn't have a brother. Just stuff like that.
Obviously, we've never done that.
Yeah.
But
it
like,
just decides, like, this is on the line.
How do you call Spotify and be like, wait a second. Or maybe I don't know. Anyways, but send help.
Yes.
Sam Raimi.
Ooh,
Directed.
boy.
Written by, what's the guy's name? It's like Lockheed and Martin or something. I know the names. It's like Draymond.
I think it's
Green
Western
and-
Union.
What is it?
Written by, scrolling, Damian Shannon.
Yeah, Damien
And
Shannon.
Mark
Mark
Swift.
Swift. Why do I know those names?
I don't know. Let me see.
Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. I know those names.
Oh, they're combined together. They are known as collaborators for screenwriting, and they have written Freddy vs. Jason and the 2009 Friday the 13th reboot.
That's why I know. Okay, so I do not fuck with the 2009 Friday the 13th remake, but that's why I know those names. I'm constantly just like comfort listening to horror reviews on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I hear, Damien, Mark Swift and Damien what? Damien, Mark Borchardt and
I gotta get another monitor. Shannon.
Mark Shannon and Damien Swift.
Other way around.
Damien Swift and Mark Shannon.
Perfect.
But no. Yeah, I'm not the biggest FBJ fan either, but it has its appeal. I'm not a hater. Anyway, so send help. That's cool. I'm not.
Is that your review for the movie? That was cool.
Well, I just mean, like, if you're looking at the trajectory of their career from my perspective, to go from there to like this is like, okay, cool.
Oh, it seems like from their quick Wikipedia that I read real quick, it is the 2009 Freddy vs. Jason, Friday the 13th, then nothing.
Yeah,
and then this. Yeah.
And Sam Raimi, obviously, my boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. They wrote Baywatch in 2017.
Okay. Hey. Zac Efron was looking great in that film.
Except before his new jaw.
Maybe.
Anyways. Chris, what'd you think of Send Help?
I loved it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I will say that the only real problems I had with it were just modern movie making stuff. Like
the
CGI boar. And the big CGI island, and like the ending shot of her with her bird. I feel like I could see a really cool reality where Sam Raimi does that shot practically, and it'd be a really cool shot.
Yes.
But just to like do the CGI zoom where everything looks like very CGI clean in the background and stuff is just not my jam.
You're right. That was something that did stand out to me that I was thinking every time you got a shot of the entire island, I was like, I know it's probably prohibitively expensive to find an island to shoot on, but
find a smaller one maybe then.
Make a little one.
Yeah. So there's some modern movie making aesthetics that I did not enjoy, but otherwise, I found it to be very fun and funny. I thought at first, I had a fun. The characters aren't like the most like dimensional of all time, but especially at the beginning, like the villain wasn't a very big fan, but then as the story progresses, I actually started to kind of like sympathize with him, obviously, and she kind of starts to show some colors where it's like, okay, maybe maybe she's got not wound too tight either. And I just thought it was a fun ride. I think there's some pretty gnarly, like, gross out stuff that happens that was very like, oh, my boy Sam, there's Sam Raimi being all gross again. I like it. So yeah, overall I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, when we were leaving, I was like, Zeta was like, she's like, I kind of want to give it 5 stars almost. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna give it 4. Because I love, a lot of what's there, but it's also like I said, it's also I don't know. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Like I said, it's just, it's got a couple of those icky, like, modern filmmaking things that are just like, ugh, in my opinion. I don't know if that makes me pretentious or something.
No, I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
I felt similarly. I liked this movie quite a bit. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars because, like, walking out of it, I was like, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time. It was the first time in a long time I saw a movie. There's a sizable audience to see it.
That's awesome.
And people were hooting and hollering and having a great time.
I'm glad to hear
I haven't
that.
seen that in a long time.
The movie deserves it. It really is a good movie.
And yeah, you're right. Our characters are pretty boilerplate, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
My one critique of them is, like, by the time that they're, like, in the forest fighting each other, I was like, I don't know who I want to come out on top of this, because I don't. It's not that, like, I like both of them and I want both. It's like I just don't care about either of them really.
Sure.
I like both of them. I mean, they're decent, good characters, but I'm like, I kind of just don't like either of you in a not substantial way, But besides that, I do love, like you said, some this movie just fucking stinks of Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And I love all of that, especially score by Danny Elfman.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'd like to bring this up for the next movie too, don't me forget. But the score of this movie felt like a movie from 25 years ago, which made parts of it feel like, oh, I'm at the movies.
Yeah.
I'm watching a film right now.
I miss that feeling.
And for everything, whenever this movie reminds me of a movie from 25 years ago, I really like it. And like you said, every time it reminds me of a movie from 2026, I don't like it.
Yeah, because there were times where I was like, am I watching Primate?
Yes, exactly. It was the CG Island, I think is what it was.
Yeah. This feels like Primate. We just saw Primate a couple weeks ago, and this basically sometimes felt like Primate, and other times it felt like a cool Sam Raimi movie. And I like this cool Sam Raimi movie that's in there. There's like maybe like 15% of like modern 2026 Primate in there, and then there's a good like 85% of just a fun Sam Raimi time.
How long is this movie? 115 minutes? I don't know. I don't 150 minutes. I don't remember what it was exactly. I think the beginning with her at work, I'm just getting into it now.
Yeah.
Like with her at work, and like I didn't need to know that she like loved Survivor and stuff like that. I felt like there could have been maybe a quicker way, because by the time they're like in his office and he's like, I'm passing you up for the promotion and yada yada yada, I was like, get on the plane. I'd like to see the plane crash soon, please.
Yeah.
And then I think it just has to be the nature of it being a desert island where everything looks the same. But by the time we were there, I was like, they're kind of just fucking around on this island for a really long time. But still at the same time, I was just like, this is a fun movie and I'm having fun. But after a while, I was like, been on this island for a real long time.
Yeah. I will say the guy, I don't know the guy,
Dylan O'Brien,
but his performance had me rolling pretty often. There's a lot of times on the island where he was making me fucking laugh, for sure. I
laughed out loud after he poisons her. I think that's a very tense scene. I was like, oh god, when he comes out with the raft, I laughed out loud. I thought that was
good.
Pretty good.
It's really good. But it opens, she's hanging out, she loves Blondie, she's listening to Blondie. It's clear that everybody at work kind of sees her as a bit of a tryhard, doesn't like hanging out with her and stuff. And she is expecting, because she's like the workhorse of the office, to get promoted to vice president, as the owner, before he died, promised her that. But now that the owner is dead, his douchebag son is running the company.
Did you see, there's a picture of the the dad, the former owner. There was like a portrait of him up somewhere. Did you see it?
Mm-mm.
I didn't see it. Apparently, it's Bruce Campbell, which made me very happy.
That's fun. And obviously, she does not get it because she's gross and smells like tuna fish, and he wants to have one of his golf buddies be the VP. She's crushed, but in the meantime, she's up watching Survivor in the evenings. All of the books in her home are on survivalism and what plants you can eat and blah, 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 and all kinds of stuff like that. She pleads her case with the boss, and he's like, okay, you know what? Show up. We're going to go to like Germany or whatever, I think it's somewhere in Asia, actually, for some big meeting, and you come along, and if you prove yourself, maybe. But really, his plan all along is just to take her work and,
Yes, and all of that sucks and it's gross and it's very, real world business person. But when he's talking to her and he's like as lightly as possible, trying to be like, listen, my VP has to be somebody that's in rooms with me making deals.
Yeah.
You're gross.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a good point. I saw her put a sandwich in the desk earlier. You can't be doing stuff like that as a VP or as just anybody.
I mean, that's the thing is I feel like there are a lot of times in the movie where, like, yes, on one hand, it's like, yeah, he's being a gross douchebag, but also, yeah, she accidentally got tuna fish on him.
Yes. He's being a gross douchebag, but she's also a gross, nice person. So.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, while they may be boilerplate, I think what you said earlier about how, like, you can't fully root for either of them is true from the beginning of the film.
Yes.
Because even later on, the villain, you get a little bit of sympathy later because he's like, yeah, my dad was, like, basically not there, and my mom was, drunk and the meanest person possible. And she's like, oh, yeah, I mean, monsters aren't born, they're created, so that makes sense kind of a thing. And he's like, you call me a monster? And she's like, kind of. Whatever. The crash happens. And the crash is a fun sequence. It's a lot of fun Sam Raimi stuff in there. Like when that one guy's like trying to unbuckle her. It's just like, Linda, give me your seat, Linda.
So funny.
And then when he's slamming into her window, he's like, Linda, do something. Linda. I also like that her name's Linda because that's the name of Ash's girlfriend. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Linda. Yeah, fun, huh? Unless I'm mistaken, but I don't think I am.
Sounds right.
I can hear Bruce saying Linda in my head.
You know what? I just learned that I'm kind of blown away by.
What are you blown away by?
I was looking at Bill Pope. He's a cinematographer of this. He's a cinematographer for a lot of stuff, like almost everything Sam Raimi's done in Sin City and all the Matrix movies. Which, would you believe that the guy that shot the Matrix also shot this movie? That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, Home by Five, I guess. Do you know who directed Sin City?
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
And
the guy who wrote Sin City.
Frank Miller?
Yeah, Frank Miller, right.
He also directed by himself Sin City 2.
Yeah.
And The Spirit. I'm blown away right now. I didn't know Frank Miller directed movies.
Well, that's the thing is, like, Sin City, Robert Rodriguez actually, from what I've heard, fought really hard to get him that credit. Because the directors fucking union guild thing didn't want that, so he actually left the guild so that he could properly, in his opinion, credit Frank Miller.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That is pretty sick.
Yeah. But I saw The Spirit when I was a kid. I don't think that film was considered to be a good film, and I think Sin City 2 is also considered to be a bomb. But I would like to watch Sin City one day as an adult. I haven't seen it since, I was a baby, and I just kind of saw it on.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it as a kid and going, I'd rather watch Hellboy. It's not dark.
Yeah. Anyways, so crash happens, some good Sam Raimi gags. And then this movie, much like fucking Mission Impossible Rogue One, what was it?
Rogue 2. Final mission.
Wasn't it called The Ghost Protocol?
That's one of them, but I don't think that's the one we saw.
Is it not?
Mission Impossible Final Reckoning?
Final Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning? No, it was Dead Reckoning Part 1 and then Final Reckoning is what they were called.
So Final Reckoning. When he's just in the middle of the ocean. Same thing with the Send Help when she's just floating in the middle of the ocean. That shit is just like...
Oh, so yeah, I get the chills every time. Oh, yeah.
Every time I'm like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to fucking throw up. But the...
You know what gets me like that really bad?
What's that?
It's the same... It happens when I see open water like that.
Yeah.
But it's so much worse for me for some reason where, you ever play a video game and you, like, accidentally... like fall out of the map, and your guy just falls into nothingness. That scares me to my core, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know what it is, I don't know what it's called, but I want to die every single time that happens.
Yeah, that's funny. It's good. She washed up on the beach. He washed up on the beach. She gets to her survival bullshit. She's in her bag.
She's so stoked.
And that's the cool thing that I like about the journey you go on as a viewer. He's got all the power in the office. She's got all the power here. And she's pretty kind with it, usually. She's definitely pretty kind with it. He's always a, asshole. He never changes throughout this film.
Yeah.
But also, she does actively avoid rescue because she doesn't want to give up having his place, right? Having the the upper hand of the situation. She likes being in power and the controls. She hangs out of that. Anyways, yeah. So they wake up. She immediately, again, kind. This is great. Makes a little shelter for him and tends to his wounds. And this is all very fun. I love watching her just geek out on oh man, setting the leaves into the bowl and catching rainwater and stuff. It's fun. This is a trope I've seen many times. The castaways, and they end up getting into a little bit of a tiff or whatever, and one of them's better at survival than the other one, so then the other one has to be SpongeBob, you think maybe I could have it? The Magic Conch episode of SpongeBob's a good example.
Yeah.
There's an episode of The Mighty Boosh where they get cast away and the same kind of thing happens. But it's a little different. They end up one of the characters ends up making people out of the coconuts or whatever.
I think that's the only episode of The Mighty Boosh
It's
I've
so
ever seen.
fun because it goes on to him ending up in court with a coconut judge and he's running away from coconut police for having accidentally murdered his coconut wife. Anyways, but basically that's what happens.
I did appreciate that though, because what I was assuming this whole movie would be was them trying to figure out how to survive on this island together while working through the differences.
Yeah.
But I love that immediately she's
that.
that is no problem at all. I know exactly what to do here. It's cool. We can just get to their dynamic for the rest of this.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a movie where it's just their dynamic for the whole time. Because, they're not trying to, sometimes they kind of fake it out a little bit because you kind of think a little bit maybe when they're drinking and they're kind of indulging in each other. And honestly, when she woke up on the beach and there were two giant handprints on the side of her head, I was like, oh man, they probably banged on that beach. But no, they never. There are a couple of times where they kind of lightly tease oh, we gotta stay warm for warmth, but there's never really any full blown sexual tension in this.
I do like that. I do like how close a couple times they get to something's happening, but it never does.
They never go there fully. Yeah.
At one point, I got up to do a whiz. When I came back, I leaned over to my friend and I said, "Did they fuck yet?" And he goes, "No, they're just fucking around on this island."
But she's thriving, She's making all kinds of bullshit, pillows and all kinds of shit.
His leg just cut up real bad, or is it broken? I don't remember.
I don't know what happened.
He got
bleeding a bunch.
He got leg problems.
He was bleeding a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But come to find out later in the film, much later. Because there's this whole thing where they start exploring the wild as he starts to rehabilitate his leg, and I like this arc because it does fake you out a bit that they're kind of getting over their differences and kind of coming together and stuff. But as you mentioned a moment ago, he does end up poisoning her and building our secret raft and trying to escape and stuff. But during that time, it's a little bit of feel good here. You kind of there's a whole part of the island where she's like, don't go over there. There's just freaking poison ivy and thorn bushes everywhere. But you know what's actually on the other side of the island? The mansion from Primate, and she's been sneaking into the mansion.
Exactly.
She's been sneaking into the mansion from Primate.
I would like to
steal bottles of water.
I think when she first sees that boat, and then goes, "No, not yet."
Yeah.
I can't make up my mind if I like that or not. Because I feel like this would be a little bit better if the first time we see her see somebody is when his wife shows up.
Yeah.
And then you find out at the end, oh, she's known this whole time. But I don't know. I feel like I would have liked that a little bit later.
Sure.
But also, I don't know if I did or not.
I
don't know how to make a movie.
This is a nitpick.
Samuel does.
This is a nitpick.
Okay.
I don't think she should have said "no, not yet" out loud. That's weird.
That's a good point.
Other than that,
that's you know what, that fixes it for me.
Yeah,
if she would have just seen it and said nothing, that would have been
kind
perfect.
of backed behind the tree or something and waited for it to pass. Yeah, because that's just a little too on the nose. It reminds me of, to jump ahead to the next film we're going to talk about. The only real note I have that it was a negative about the next film, which is A History of Violence, is you cold open on the killers, and they're in a motel. They're getting in the car, and they're kind of like, you ever get tired of being on the run? And the guy's like, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, all right, let's head east. And he's like, to the, through the small towns. He's like, yep. And he's like, avoid the big cities. And it's like, yep. And it's like, two murderers would not have to say that out loud to each other. They wouldn't have to say avoid the big cities out loud to fucking each other. I know that unless this is them for the first time being on the run, they don't have to say avoid the big cities to each other.
Yeah.
Again, does this ruin a movie for me? No, but there's sometimes just one line like that where I'm just like, why would a grown man say it to another grown man who's been on the run for years?
We'll get there when we get there. This is nothing on what I thought of that movie, but that movie a lot of times when I go, I get it.
Yeah,
anyway,
sure.
Back to this one.
Back to Send Help.
I really enjoyed, I think it happened right before she sees the boat, but when he's a huge dick to her and he's like, hey, you work for me, and she just leaves him.
Yeah, I like that also. I did like that. I love when the sweeping shot.
That's what I'm getting at, that sweeping shot over and over again. I was like, hey, you would not, nobody would dare do this other than Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Because it is arguably fucking really corny.
Yeah.
But also, it just, for this movie, and a Sam Raimi movie, I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
This works really well.
Yeah. He does a lot of gross out stuff too, where he like tries to eat a bug or like just shits in his mouth and he's like spitting, and it's very. It reminds me of back in the day, like casting crew members from like Evil Dead, and Bruce Campbell himself even saying that like working with Sam Raimi is torture, that like he gets sick pleasure out of like making his actors do like things where they have gross stuff on them, and just like the more he can make them uncomfortable, the more that he has fun in a sense. And so there are a couple of scenes like that where I was just like, oh. Still the same little boy in that old man body.
When he poisons her and then she starts saving him and she's just throwing up in his mouth the entire time. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Super funny.
I will say,
super fun.
God bless Sam Raimi.
For sure.
He's just making the movies.
Yeah.
But
I didn't see his Doctor Strange, but continue.
People really don't like it. I love it. Oh. It's the only like.
I thought people liked it. That's my bad.
People didn't like it because it's called Multiverse of Madness, and they go to one other universe.
Oh.
People are like, I wanted to see the wacky ones. And it's like, come on. Well, relax. Anyway, because there's a lot of fun stuff in that movie that it's like, oh yeah, only getting Sam Raimi to direct a Doctor Strange movie would get you to do this. Like, there's just a scene where he gets poisoned, and the camera just like shifts, but it's very clearly like an attachment on the lens that is being turned by a guy that's just turning the whole image sideways. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I really like that. Anyway, the part where after she kills his wife and she has that dream of her coming out of the water,
Yeah.
And she's like, I think it's like played backwards of her coming out of the water or whatever, so it looks kind of weird and unnatural. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, God damn. Why don't they just let Sam Raimi make fucking scary movies? Just let him do it all the time. And then that spirit Halloween mask full of maggots popped up behind her, went blah, and it like push zoomed in on it. I went, oh, that's right.
That was a very like Army of Darkness jump scare.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like a good double feature to follow this one up, just to be self-indulgent, would be like the last horror movie he made, which was Drag Me to Hell,
which I've never seen,
and Crimes of the Future, which is a Cronenberg film that I really want to make you watch. I didn't like it, and I really want to make you watch it bad. I want to hear what you have to say about Crimes of the Future.
Yeah, I remember the note you had written down about it.
What was that?
You said that when I was going to watch it, I never got around to it when it was in theaters.
This is correct.
You're like, there's a lot of something in it that I didn't expect. And I went, what is it? And you went, I'd like to see if you can pick up on it. I'm going to write it down on this piece of paper and I'm going to put it in this drawer. And then 6 months went by and I went, and I'd never seen it. And you went, oh, and you pulled out the piece of paper and it said dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I forgot about that. There's a lot of dead in that film.
Let me go ahead and write this time code down so I can block that out.
What? Oh, right. We don't want Spotify AI hearing that. Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
I hope you have that number memorized. Just go ahead and put a bleep over the whatever it is.
Yep.
Build the suspense.
I will.
Okay, so but yeah, I feel like that'd be a fun one because I haven't seen Drag Me to Hell since I was like, I don't remember anything about it, but I'm curious if it'll be scary. I gotta be honest, like, I know we probably talk about it all the time, but like the last and one of the the most recent and one of the few films that actually like scares me is the fucking Conjuring. Like if I'm home alone at night watching The Conjuring, I'm scared. I'm getting scared.
What I like about The Conjuring,
guaranteed.
I know last time we watched it for the show. I mean, you and I were kind of lukewarm on it. I think we had just like overdone it and we'd seen it too many times. But what I like about that movie is it does scare me. When ghosty stuff is happening, I'm scared. But like at the end when they're getting that thing, I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Or just like when they're like they're walking around and he's got the boom mic and you don't hear where they are, you hear where the boom mic is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hell yeah, man. Whereas I feel like nowadays if I see a really good scary movie, I'm just scared and bummed out the entire time, which I like. I think that's really good.
Movie that did that to you though?
Scared me and bummed me out?
Yeah.
Probably the last one I saw it. I can't even remember what it was. I want to say like Midsummer, but I probably saw that 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't think of Chris. I can't think of the last horror movie that I saw, like modern horror movie.
We've seen a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot.
Primate.
That scared you? And
I'm bummed out the entire time.
You weren't scared though.
No.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say though. Like, we're definitely in like a horror renaissance in the sense of like those are like the only fucking movies that hit the theater, and we go see a lot of them.
Did you see that? Sorry, go on.
What I was gonna say is like, yeah, where's the ones that are actually scary though?
That's a good point.
Scar me for life, why don't you? Like The Sixth Sense when I was a kid, that shit scared the balls off me. Fucking Blair Witch scared my fucking butthole closed.
Oh, what are they called? What are their names? The guys, they're like two like Australian YouTubers that made two pretty big movies. In the past 5 years. Markiplier and
Chris Stuckman.
C-Nanners made a movie. No, Talk to Me. I think.
Oh, I saw Talk to Me. Talk to Me was decent.
And Bring Her Back or Bring Him Back.
But yeah, I thought Talk to Me was decent. That one scared me a little bit.
I hear both of those are just gross and a bummer.
Yeah.
And so I've been like, I don't want to see those. Like I do, but also I'm like, I don't think I can bring myself to see those.
Yeah. Oh, and then I watched fucking Sinister, but that's a movie from 2014, and that one was kind of like, ooh, spooked. Until the end. The end's okay. Doesn't end phenomenally. It ends kind of like Hereditary ends.
Oh, a bummer?
Yeah, I guess, but just not as effectively, but yes.
Did you see, speaking of The Conjuring, James Wan and the other one, Adam something?
From Saw?
Yeah. Got the rights back to Saw.
Wonderful.
So they own Saw now?
Great.
Are you excited about that?
No. I hate those films so much.
I always forget you didn't like the first one.
No.
Sorry. Didn't mean to bring it up.
That's okay.
Sorry to bring up
old
shit.
It's news.
It is news.
In other news, here's something I don't understand. I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
Streaming's business model. We've talked about this probably before, but like, let me give you an example real quick. Okay? I do in the sense that like, right, like if you have, let's say, Netflix worldwide, I mean, what do they have? A couple 100 million people paying for shit? The Netflix shit?
Mm-hmm.
And their shit's like $15 to $20, so yes, that's a shitload of money every month just coming in. So never mind. I take it back. But what I was really just trying to say is that like there's a new Crystal Lake show coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Linda Cardellini, A24, Paramount Plus. I think they're doing like an 8-episode season, and each episode has a... This is my cat. Each episode has a $10 million budget, so that means that one season was an $80 million season of a show. And it's just like, imagine if they were making a Friday the 13th film for $80 million. They would never do that.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, I think Halloween 2018, last I checked, was like a $20 to $25 million movie.
Yeah, well, that was a Blumhouse production.
Yeah.
I don't know what A24 probably spends. What do you think the budget was on Send Help?
On what?
Send Help. It's a movie we're talking about right now.
Send Help? The budget? Modern budgets are fucking, what, $35 million maybe?
40.
Oh, okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about with that Friday the 13th show, the surf vampire meme. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I do not.
Hold on, let me see if I can find this real quick. Vamp, talk about something.
Well, the other thing I was going to talk about was, and I don't remember why, I think I was just trying to do like a general like movie news segment, but I don't really know much movie news. The only thing I know is that A24 also just acquired the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah, did we talk about that?
No.
Oh.
But they have plans to do a TV series and a movie, apparently.
Can't
what do
wait.
you want to say about it?
It's a tweet by a guy named Topher Florence. This is back in the day. If you did a TV show called Surf Dracula, you see that fool surfing every week in New Adventures. But in streaming era, the entire first season's got to be a long ass flashback about how he got the surfboard until you finally see him on a surfboard for 5 minutes in the finale.
Yeah,
I can't wait until that Camp Crystal Lake show where the last scene is him drowning in the lake.
Yeah. I'm excited. It reminds me of that. I didn't watch the last 2 seasons of Stranger Things, but that Drew Gooden video I watched of an hour and 10 minutes of him just being like, "Wow, that was a wet fart."
Mm-hmm.
Just hit like that. There's a clip of him being like, "All of the clocks are the 12, and that this color was this," and then just the whole like conspiracy theory that there's another episode, and him just being like, the season finale was so bad that the entire fandom was like, there must be another one.
I love it. Yeah, I watched that too, and it's everything I've seen from that documentary they put out is insane. It feels like
everything I've heard is like not just from Drew Gooden, but I've seen so many people just be like, why would you put this out unless Drew Gooden was like, unless Netflix is trying to like assassinate their character because they're leaving. They're leaving to go to another streaming platform, so they wanted to make them look like idiots because they do look like idiots in that documentary. Like,
it's so funny just being like, everyone's down our neck to write this. It's like, you had 5 years or 2 years, 2 full years to do this. Anyway,
like and there's one clip where Drew Gooden is he shows a clip from the documentary where one of the writers like, I wanted to write this, but I've got kids right now, and he's talking to like a light operator, and the light operator, he says to the light operator, he's like, "You got kids?" He's like, "Yeah. I still do my job every day." It's like what the light operator says to the fucking writer of the show.
That's so funny. Just come in and operate the lights.
Yeah, goddamn. Not to be a hater, I do still think that Stranger Things is like a really cool like cultural thing. Like aesthetically, it's a cool thing that everybody rallied around this like weird little, Goonies story with like sci-fi and horror tones and stuff. I just think that the Duffer Brothers themselves, I don't think wanted it to go this long.
Yeah.
From the sense that I'm getting from the show, I don't think that they imagined that more than a season or 2 would even happen, and that they would go on to something else. And I think they talk about that a lot in the documentary. From what I've seen clips, it's just that they're like, we're kind of fucking ready to go do something else. And in my opinion, like that's the thing I don't like about the show is that like I stopped watching eventually because like I just don't feel like it doesn't reek of passion. It reeks of them begrudgingly every 2 or 3 years putting out maybe 4 episodes and then, okay, give us 6 more months to finish the other 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I drudging along.
I watched season 4, and I remember enjoying it.
People consider it to be one of the better ones. It's got really good reviews. By the time 5 comes out, I don't...
Yeah, I was like, I don't...
care anymore.
I can't remember what Stranger Things was about.
Yeah.
I can't imagine caring enough to watch.
In my opinion, they took way too long to do all that.
Have you seen... We're doing anything but talking about this movie. The trailer for The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
I have not, and that's another thing I won't be watching. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
I'm so confused by it.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you have to say about it, because I couldn't be enticed less to watch something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like it's a spin-off of a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
But David Fincher's directing it.
So strange.
And it's coming straight to Netflix.
Yeah. Did it look like you might check it out?
Yeah, but not for a good reason.
Okay, what's the reason?
Because it just looks confusing. I'm confused by it. It looks, unfortunately...
Is it a prequel? Is it a sequel?
It's a sequel.
Okay.
It unfortunately looks like...
Unfortunately is so funny.
It unfortunately looks like Netflix slop. Okay. Like visually.
Yeah, like every show they've put out in a long time.
But what sucks about that is Netflix's first big shows were like Mindhunter and House of Cards. So everything on Netflix looks like that. But those are both David Fincher projects. So everything on Netflix is just copying what David Fincher movies should look like.
I did not know House of Cards was David Fincher.
Yeah, so now
wow.
David Fincher just looks like Netflix slop and is a huge bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was David Fincher, and I remember a lot of episodes being directed by Joel Schumacher, surprisingly.
Zodiac is such a good film.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it lately. I got to get back to it. I saw it once and was just enthralled.
You want to do it for the pod?
Yeah, I would love to, actually.
Let's let that be one of the films we choose for the next week, then.
Have you seen The Killer by him? Came out a few years ago.
Did you enjoy that?
I have tried to watch that movie like 4 times, and I can't get an hour in.
Yeah, please don't make me.
I won't.
Thank you.
I won't.
But anyways, yes. So, to recap, I do have love for Stranger Things. I'm not trying to be a huge hater. I'm just saying, like, the optics from the outside, it looks like two white dudes who fell ass backwards into mega stardom didn't actually want to do the thing. It looks like they want to do other projects for sure. I've heard them say that out of their own mouth. And, the show just kind of went on. Not longer than it should have in the sense of the quantity, but just the amount of time it took for how little story you actually got.
But, why would they do it? You know what I mean?
What do you
the
mean?
thing that gets me about that is you can tell that these guys didn't really want to do this.
Money.
Yeah, but it's Stranger Things. It's the biggest show in the world. You can't go to any store anywhere without seeing, a Stranger Things Slurpee flavor or a Stranger Things.
Because I feel like I actually have heard clips from the documentary of them saying, I got to make some money. Ran out of money. That's why we where'd all your money go? Where'd all your money go? I think there's a point where they say they ran out of money. That's why they wrote some more of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where'd your money go?
You've
done nothing besides Stranger Things.
Maybe they got fucked. Maybe Netflix took most of it. I'm not trying to be mean to specifically the Duffers.
I am.
Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm not mad at anybody. Like I said, there's that first season of Stranger Things. Freaking love it. And my sister, friend of the show, Danielle, she agrees. She also doesn't think Stranger Things should have gone on for more than a season. Mm-hmm. Good take, Danielle.
I always think of
great take.
It makes you think of there's a clip of, I forget where he is, but Colin Farrell talking on some interview somewhere where he goes, I love when I hear actors go, oh, I did one for them, one for me. Oh, really? One for them? You made $15 million doing one for them?
Yeah.
It's all for you. Every single one's for you.
And that's another thing is, I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons. Like, for example, the Duffers' laziness / wanting to make some more money, which, again, no shade. I'm lazy and I also love money. But the other thing I was talking about with my partner Zeta was and I'm sure that there was that kind of spacing out because the fact that these kids we became megastars, there probably was something about negotiating contracts so they're not tied to doing Stranger Things just back to back to back to back, and they can go breathe and do other projects and stuff. And because I know back in the day that was one of the things is the X-Files, love it, great, but David Duchovny didn't want to be you're literally that is you're chained to that anchor, because you spend half the year shooting fucking 30 episodes. And then the other half, kind of off maybe, and then you go back. That's pretty much all you got time for, in your whole year. And the next thing you know, you've been doing it for 10 years. And it's okay, maybe I want to go do Californication. Maybe I don't want to keep doing Aliens. Maybe I want to be addicted to sex, Anyway, Send Help. I give it a solid B+. I loved it.
I think a B+. I'm gonna also give it a B+. I think that's a great score.
I can see myself rewatching this sometime in the future, just have a little laugh or something,
Oh, when they're in the forest and they're fighting and he jams out her eye, I almost threw up.
Oh, for sure.
That's the most visceral thing I've ever seen in a movie. Maybe I almost threw up.
Stuff. And I love when they're they're in the mansion from Primate, and she's just unraveling her evil plan, where she's I saw this house the whole time, and I was coming here and I was getting bottles of water, and I didn't tell you about it. And then, yes, I did kill your wife, and I want to stay here forever.
When she's when it reveals that's where she got the knife from, and she's like, you really thought a knife washed up on this place? I was like, oh, my dumbass never once was where'd she get that knife from?
Yeah, no, there's quite a few very funny moments like that, very enjoyable. I do like this movie a lot. I really enjoyed this movie. But I love at the end where he's like, I'm sorry I tried to gouge that I gouged your eyeball out. And she's like, I'm sorry that I stabbed you and stuff. It's funny. It's good. It's good. Even down to that moment, though, even though, like I said, there's never any actual change or anything like that, there were still little moments like that where I was like, I can't tell if he's being genuine or if he's about to double cross her again.
Yeah.
Because part of me literally would love if they went with the you didn't expect this, in my opinion, just over the top camp substance ending. And they just did decide to stay there and just fell madly in love, and they lived on this island for the rest. And that's how the movie ends. It's just
that'd be so sick.
I would love that.
That'd be so sick.
That's what I was expecting. So I was a little disappointed, I will say, when it was she got off the island and she wrote a book about it and stuff like that. Just because it's very linear. That's but I can't be mad at it. It's that makes sense. That's where that goes for sure. And it's fun. It's fun. Ultimately,
I would say the end of this movie is the happiest ending this movie probably could have had.
Yeah. Other than the one I just pitched, but yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I would like that.
Good for her. It's one of those movies.
Yeah,
It's a good for her movie.
It reminds me of a drunk, middle-aged mom being good for her.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's good. I like Lucille. Lucille. Bluth.
Ball?
No, Bluth.
Oh.
You want your pants to buckle, not your chair.
I'm going to piss.
Arrested Development.
In my pants.
Talking about Arrested Development. Let's take a break.
I'm going to pause.
Okay.
Okay, I'm empty.
Before we talk about a history of violence.
Oh, okay.
I hate to do this because I do think that there should be some places that are, just kind of a way to get away from everything we hear on the news all the time. But Donald Trump mentioned something that's local to us. The Gordie Howe Bridge that's being built. Have you heard about this?
Vaguely.
So long story short, I don't really know the full ins and outs of like everything, but I know that like apparently it was like a thing where America and Canada were trying to collaborate on some infrastructure, and then like some of our Republicans here in Michigan kind of like like fuck that, we're not paying for it. So instead Canada fronted the entire like $6 billion to build it, and then the plan moving forward is that it's like a 90-10 split until Canada recoups the cost of the bridge. Then it's gonna be a 50-50. And the only thing I knew about that before the Trump shit was that there's a family that privately owns the Ambassador Bridge. And, there's like a tunnel, and there's also like in Port Huron, you can, take a bridge over to Canada. But for all intents and purposes, there's kind of a chokehold on transit between Canada, Windsor specifically, and Detroit, that's owned by like a family. It's rich billionaire bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And for decades, that family has like lobbied to basically like stop any other attempt to build more infrastructure beyond what they provide, so they can keep making money off of this bridge. Like I said, it's even, it's like Trump and Friends billionaire garbage. So the bridge, good thing. Good thing for the people.
Yeah.
Infrastructure, good thing for Canada, good thing for us. Last night, or something like that, Trump just decided to have like an insane meltdown about like how he hates the bridge, and the bridge shouldn't happen because we're getting screwed over by Canada.
Okay.
And I just want to read this Truth Social post to you.
Always forget you're on there.
Yeah, that's the only social media I use. So, obviously all of it's batshit, and this man is in doo-doo brain. His brain is mush now.
It's mush. He's got mush brain, yeah.
He's very much so a mush brain individual. He goes, and there's a certain point, though, where I became very concerned. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if you can pick up on the part that's
I thought you were going to
concerning.
say that like you were coming around on it.
I was like, you know what? This guy's making a lot of sense. That'd be so funny to now become a Trump supporter. Be like, you know what? Actually, this is...
He's starting to get to me.
Okay. As everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something to you? 2017, when Trump was president, he's the one that approved this bridge being built.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so just reference. Now, things are turning around for the USA, and fast. But imagine, Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. They own both the Canada and the United States side, and of course, built it with virtually no U.S. content. President Barack Hussein Obama, I love how he always says Hussein to make him sound like brown.
Because he's a racist, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking so racist. And obviously also he just posted videos of them, the Obamas, as apes, and that was also super racist. But again, we're going to plow through this really quick because there is a part that made me laugh. President Barack Hussein Obama stupidly gave them a waiver so they could get around the Buy American Act and not use any American products, including our steel. Now the Canadian government expects me, as the President of the United States, to permit them to just take advantage of America. What does the United States of America get? Absolutely nothing. Ontario won't even put U.S. spirits, beverages, and other alcoholic products on their shelves. They are absolutely prohibited from doing so, and now, on top of everything else, Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. Well... we'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing Canada will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. That's the part where I was just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Canada will terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate... Sorry, China will do this and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup? I literally, at this point, took a screenshot and sent it to Ben because he played hockey his entire life. He still plays beer league. He coaches Little League. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? The only context he had for me is apparently there's like a Soviet hockey league called the KHL, and I guess like China has a couple teams in it. But he's like, other than that, I have no fucking idea what this guy's talking about. Anyways, the tariffs. The tariff Canada charges us for our dairy products have for many years been unacceptable. Blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna read the rest. All I wanted to get to was that Stanley Cup outlaw ice hockey shit. What the fuck was that? It goes on for like another paragraph. But what the fuck was that? What is he talking about?
Oh yeah, I mean this isn't a new thing to say, and also has nothing to do with a history of violence or Send Help or any movie in general. But everything he's doing with this or the ice stuff, everything he's doing, it's just to distract from the Epstein stuff, which is insane. I don't think we should go into that. But
sure. Yeah.
That's all huge news that is just being pushed away by this bridge nonsense and all the ice stuff.
Yeah.
And him being old and fat.
Yeah.
We were talking, I was thinking about it earlier. You were talking about like...
I have one more punchline, but continue.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, it was just that I also consulted one of my gay friends. And my gay friend Ben, both of them named Ben. There's Hockey Ben and then there's Gay Ben. Shout out to my friend, both Bens. Used to work out every day with my friend Ben, who was a gay man. But anyways, I sent it to him, and I was like, "What the fuck is this white boy talking about?" And he was like, "Bro's been watching too much Heated Rivalry." and then I asked him if he was gonna watch it, and he was like, "Probably not." Anyways, so back to what you were saying though.
Oh, I was thinking about it earlier when you were like, I'd like to... We were talking about, like, the changing of culture over the past, like, 25 years.
Sure.
And how it's hard to, like, really think about and get a grip of. And I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, because essentially we've had the same president for about 10 years.
Yeah.
When people are like... recently, people will be like, oh, throwback to 2016. Can't believe that was 10 years ago. I was like, yeah, because we've been living the same day over and over again, basically, since 2016.
It's kind of crazy.
Anyway. Yeah. How you feel about David Cronenberg?
Glad to not be talking about Trump. That's how I feel about it. No, but History of Violence, I like it. It's not my favorite Cronenberg.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting because I was looking at it and it is like critically acclaimed out the fucking ass.
Out the wazoo.
Yeah. Like I've never seen a movie that is nominated or has won more awards. Not necessarily Academy Awards, but just like international awards. And like even in the first paragraph of the fucking Wikipedia, it's like this is considered one of the best films of the 2000s. And Mads Mikkelsen has even said that it's probably the best movie he's ever been in and stuff like that.
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen, yeah.
Because how did I miss Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, sorry. Viggo Mortensen, which we just saw in Leatherface.
Yes, that's why we watched this.
I said Mads Mikkelsen because we were talking about Crimes of the Future earlier. I believe he's in that with Kirsten Dunst. Or not Kirsten Dunst, Kirsten Stewart. I think it's Mads Mikkelsen and Kirsten Stewart. But anyways.
What's that Mads Mikkelsen movie where he's bald?
I don't know.
It's like a super European film. And they made like 3 of them, and it's just him like fucking around doing stuff.
Hitman?
Basically. A friend of mine keeps going, you gotta watch that for the podcast. You gotta watch that for the podcast. And I keep forgetting.
One day.
Go on. I'll think about it.
But anyways, I there were things I liked, but it just, it wasn't my favorite. One of the things, early on, there's some great fucking shot composition. Like, there's one shot, the opening shot I liked a lot, where you just kind of like pan over that like middle of what looks like middle of America, maybe Southern America, almost motel, until you land on the 2 killers outside the car. Looks good. There's another one where like it's just like an poorly paved, like again Midwestern / Southern-ish road with all the greenery around, and it's just a car driving down it. Just a couple shots like that where I was like, this looks like a fucking painting. But anyways, otherwise, feels a bit like late stage David Lynch stuff. Like almost feels like Twin Peaks season 3 sometimes, especially with like the gangsters, because they don't feel like real mobsters. They feel very much like like David Lynch's idea of a mobster kind of type. You know what I'm saying? Like that caricature. Yeah.
It felt like that, and very much so. Like it gave me it really reminded me of the 3rd season of Twin Peaks, where that show feels at times like early 2000s, kind of lower budget, but not really. Like mid-budget, early 2000s.
This does feel like it was made for not that much money, yes.
Yes, especially when they're with the mobsters at the end. I'm like, this is someone's home.
Yeah.
Somebody who has worked on a history of violence owns this home.
But yeah, I would say I did say earlier that my only real gripe was that one line of dialogue, but I do actually have a couple more gripes. One of them is that I feel like the reveal that so real quick, the premise, hopefully you've seen the film. If you haven't, that'll be fine. We're going to do a good job, I promise. Small town man owns a diner, perfect life. Him and his wife find fun ways to spice it up in the bedroom by her dressing up like a cheerleader or whatever.
And you can tell that they have a perfect relationship that is 50-50 equal at all points because we watched them 69.
This is the first time in a film I've seen a 69 happen, yes.
Me too. Me too.
I wasn't expecting the 69.
Yeah.
They have a little blonde daughter, and they have an older son, and the older son gets bullied a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, they have the American life. A lot of the reviews / comments I've seen from people online are like, Cronenberg really flips the idea of the American dream on its head and like really exposes us for what we are and stuff.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. I think that's reaching a little too far.
I think absolutely that might have been his intention. And I could see how someone not from America would think that, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, this feels like seeing someone from another country put a cowboy hat and go, yee-haw,
yeah,
I'm an American.
Yeah. So eventually these killers just happen to stroll through his little town, I think.
Correct.
They do not have anything to do with the mobsters.
Nope.
And there's a really fucking cool scene where he like basically gets the best of them and shoots one of them and shoots the other one, and he gets stabbed in the foot and stuff, and he basically saves his waitress that works at his diner and his like cook that work at the diner and a couple of people that are still in some of the patrons or something. Mm-hmm. Becomes national news, and there's a scene where he's sitting on the bed watching that, and I was like, man, it'd be so cool if he was like in witness protection or something and then didn't want this to get out. That you know, like now he's making national news, right? But that is kind of what happens. But my problem with the film, but my problem with the film is that you don't get any of that. Like he doesn't sweat a little bit, the mask doesn't slip a little bit. He steadfast sticks to his fucking story.
Oh yeah,
until the mobsters are at his fucking house, like, come on, Joey, and he's like, all right, I'll go to Philly with you. Like there would be some dramatic anything if there was a little bit of the understanding that maybe he was actually Joey, but the whole time I was like, I guess it's just mistaken identity because Viggo Mortensen seems fine. It seems like he genuinely just is this Joey guy. Like,
yeah, no, I was the entire time I was just like, oh man, I wonder how Tommy's gonna get out of this one. They think he's this other guy.
Absolutely.
Until at the end where he goes, like you say, he's like, all right, I'm Tommy Bag of Tits or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, the movie just ends with this big reveal. And then I looked and I was just like, oh, I gotta have a movie left.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's fine, having a good time. I like the performances, I like the vibe. I could see myself rewatching this film. I don't hate it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I was really taken aback by like, you know, I saw like Robert Egert, or whatever his name was, Ebert, say like, you know, this is not a plot movie, this is a character movie. And I was like, is it? Because I feel like Viggo Mortensen, if he was a better character, you would actually see like by the end he's like talking to his brother who's a mobster, and his brother's like, that wife and kid shit, that doing it for you? Because I don't think that shit could do it for me. And Tommy Bag of Tits is like, yeah, you know what? It does do it for me. And it's like, yes, for sure, but I wish I felt it more when he says it. Because, like, I know it because I saw it in the beginning, kind of, but, like, I don't know, it just doesn't land when he says it. Because, like, there's just such a... And I guess this is a good thing, maybe, but there's a very clear distinction between these two people, in a sense, and maybe that's the intent. But I feel like if you know, there was a little more blurred lines, it could be a bit more of a dramatic ride for me. But instead, it's a very linear, like, point A to point B film, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think...
it's just too straightforward.
And you know me, I never say this.
Yeah.
I wish this movie was longer. I really do. I do appreciate... I don't have the words for it. It's along the lines of what we were saying about what you were saying about the David Lynch of it and the Twin Peaks of it, where it is everybody's playing this in a specific way.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of weird the whole time. Like, he's too good to be true.
Yeah.
But everybody is at the same time, you know? Like, everybody's playing this.
The whole thing's idyllic.
Yeah, kind of like a soap opera.
Yeah.
Or soap opera might not be the right word, but almost like a sitcom maybe-ish.
Truman Show.
And by the end, when he is Joey Bag of Tits, and he's, like, in the hospital explaining it to her, or when he's talking to his brother, I'm like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you were this mobster.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. There's such a clear division. I'm going to jump off yours and say that, like, perhaps that was intentional, but for me, it ends up making it feel like he's just too two-faced to be trusted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, I don't trust him as Tommy now because of the fact that I've seen him so quickly slip back to being a snake. Well, but I want it to be true. I want it to be true that he's different. But again, maybe this is a success of the film. Maybe a success of the film is the fact that you can't tell if he's being genuine.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want to critique it, but this is a movie I'd like to watch a couple more times. Not that it's like my favorite thing in the world, but like before I make any definitive statements. But yes, and again, that's definitely a winning part of the film, I guess, that I can sit here and be like, maybe I guess I have to watch it again to kind of think about that also.
Yeah, I think that's good. But, I really enjoyed this movie. I would go as far as to say I like this movie. Yeah. But yeah, same thing. I'm like, I have like a really mixed feelings about it, but like in a good way, where I'm like, I gotta watch this movie again. Yeah. And if it was not a good movie, I'd probably be like, mixed feelings about it, and I'll never think about it again. Yeah. But, I mean, I watched it last night, and I was just like, it was too late to do it because I do have a job I have to get to. But I was like, I was thinking real hard about just running it back immediately. Yeah. And I might fucking watch it tonight. Okay.
Still, though, I was just gonna say, like, what I was taking the time to do was write down the scores. I think ultimately I'm gonna have to give it a B minus. I think.
Okay.
Just because again, it's not my favorite thing in the world, and I don't know exactly how I feel about it yet. So I don't want to rate it too low or too high. Yeah. I'm gonna put it right at like the B minus, I think. But yeah, I think it's good. It's based on a DC Comics graphic novel.
Yes.
A Vertigo novel. Which I know nothing about.
Hey, same.
I don't know how Cronenberg got attached to that. It's very interesting.
Same. That's what got me the most about it. I was like, I would like to see a Cronenberg comic book adaptation, but then I did no reading on John Wagner's history of violence.
It's against type, not his usual body horror kind of type stuff, but
themes are pretty much exactly the same as all of his other movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like a blurring of the lines between like violence and sex. His wife gets all mad at him for being Joey Bag of Tits, and they end up fucking doing a little quickie on the stairs.
Which is crazy.
Crazy. And there is a couple of scenes that are body horror-ish, more just like grotesque. Like after the guy gets shot in the face, and he just lay there going like, and you see like all that stuff. I was like, ooh. Ugh.
It reminded me when you said everywhere you look about this movie, it's like, it won all these awards. Everywhere I look about this movie, people are like, this is hyper violent. Movie's brutal. I'm like, I think this movie's pretty violent.
But also
maybe it's the times.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just get that shit all the time.
Every time I turn around, Instagram's showing me a real guy die. So that could be it. Yeah.
But even just like nowadays, something like Deadpool versus Wolverine has shit that looks like that,
Yeah, that's a good point.
And fucking you're in a room full of parents with 14-year-olds. But really quick, I wanted to say, God, I fucking lost what I wanted to say. But one of the few things I was going to say for sure was same thing with like the sheriff. That's what I was going to say. So the couple of things that could have been interesting character study-ish things in my opinion. But I will say this. I like how at the end you end on like the Soprano style. Like it seems like the family is just going to be like, well, that's like still dad. And they just kind of like, they're going to move forward, it looks like. To me.
I was going to say, I like that you say that, because what I got from it was just like, it is so up in the air still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like, I like that the daughter gets him the plate because she knows jack shit because she's 4. Yeah.
And the son also passes.
And the son is just like, very trepidatiously is like, here, and the wife is crying.
Yeah.
So it's like the daughter's accepting, son's on the fence.
Okay.
And the wife is bawling her eyes out, so she feels like I know me still. Though. Yeah, but she wasn't happy about it. She initiated it and was like, I don't like it.
But what I was going to say is the character study thing. I think going a little more in depth in the back and forth with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
I do like when the sheriff shows up that she like takes his side, because again, that's just an interesting choice to make. I'm not saying it's because it's like I think that she did the right thing or something. It's just an interesting choice to make for her to still like stick by her partner's side like that. Same thing with the sheriff. Also, though, I feel like there could have been more there with like the back and forth and like Joey Bag of Tits. If he truly had changed in a sense, like part of me feels like maybe he should have been totally honest when the sheriff asks him to be honest with him.
Yes,
and to me that makes me feel like he hasn't fully changed if he's not being honest with the sheriff.
I feel like, I don't know what this means or what it says, but I feel like he totally planned on doing that. And then when his wife came in and she was just like, nope, this is my husband. He's always been my husband. He's not Joey Bag of Tits.
I agree with you. I could see that.
Okay, yeah. And then he beats his wife up? Why does he beat her up? Dude, when they have that stair sex, I was like, that was crazy. And then just for no reason, you just see her full frontal the next scene for half a second. I was like, Jesus Christ. That was like more shocking than any of the nudity. Or than any of the violence.
Yeah.
But then there's just that scene of her in the other room, and you see that giant bruise on her back. I was like, oh, fuck, that's brutal, dude.
Yeah.
My spine, that was worse than seeing that guy's. Oh, my God, when he stomps on that dude's neck.
Yeah.
And he goes,
like, oh.
He goes, Heh!
Yeah.
I laugh pretty hard.
Yeah. But yeah, he does decide to go to Philly, and he pleads with his brother, like, hey,
and you know that place is bad because there's neon there.
Yeah. And his brother's like,
he basically goes to Pottersville.
Yeah. The only way that that's so funny, yeah, because he shows up and he's like, yeah, let me get a bottle of Jenny Cream, and then he turns around and he's like, are you Jackrabbit or whatever? And he's like, yeah. You Joey? He's like, yeah. You know how mobsters talk to each other.
Yeah. In code.
But yeah, he goes back and you get his counterpart, his brother, who stayed in that life and didn't go away, and he's the one that's like, I like fucking broads and I could never marry a lady because I like to go get some side action. It's just too much hassle to like have to hide it and stuff. I'd rather just not get married and just have all the sex I want and stuff. I don't know how you do it, And then he beats the shit out of all the, henchmen and ends up shooting his brother in the head and stuff. I like when he locks his brother out of his own house. That's funny.
Yeah,
it's good. It's a little humiliating. So yeah, ultimately.
And then he washes himself of his sins in the river.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh my God, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Every time that fucking crucifix was hanging out of his shirt, I was like, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, David. All right, man. Tuck that thing in his shirt. All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
The 2000s loved the Christ comparison arc.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Shout out to... Is it Yul Brynner? Is that who the bad guy is in this?
I don't know, man.
The guy with the eye?
It's a great question.
I'm sorry, Ed Harris. Shout out Ed Harris. Who is Yul Brynner?
Yul Brynner? I feel like I know that name.
Yul Brenner's like a 400-year-old cowboy actor. Yeah, I was right. He's born in 1920.
Yeah.
He was in Westworld. That's what I'm thinking of it. He's in Westworld, and then Ed Harris is in the new Westworld. He's in the original Westworld.
Okay. So, yeah.
I'd give it a solid B.
Solid B.
Fun fact, according to the Wikipedia.
What's that?
It is also notable as being one of the last, if not the last, major Hollywood film to be released on VHS.
Yeah, I read that.
Can you imagine watching this on VHS on a nice CRT TV?
Perhaps.
Just full screen with the sides cut off.
This feels much more like a this feels much more like a DVD movie to me.
Oh yeah. 2005. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's this week's episode, I guess. What are we gonna watch next time we do this?
We were talking about a bunch of stuff and then a bunch of other stuff, weren't we?
Zodiac was a big contender there.
It was. I brought up Pusher. It is... Let me bring it back up.
I would say I'd love to watch, if you don't mind, really quick, pair up a couple of newers. Really would like to watch No Other Choice. Talking about that thing.
Where?
I don't know. I think it's
I'm trying to see that movie so bad, Chris, and I just can't. As soon as it's out, I'm watching it.
All right. But yeah, Zodiac. It's a good time.
Come over here and look at these screenshots of Pusher real quick. It's a Danish 90s movie about heroin dealers.
Yeah.
And it starts Mads Mikkelsen and Nicholas Refn-Winding.
Okay.
The director of Drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to watch this or not.
I do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've seen clips from it.
Okay. Along with what?
Huh?
Along with what?
Zodiac.
Okay. Go sit down.
Okay.
Get out of my face. Get out of my area.
All right. So that's that then, or what?
Pusher and Zodiac?
Yeah.
All right.
Sound good?
I'm fine with that. And the next week we'll watch, again after that, we have to watch Scream 7.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll do that with...
Probably nothing.
We'll get there when we get there.
Let's just have it be its own little thing.
Okay. We better hope it's good. Or bad enough to talk about for...
Well, we still have a whole nother episode to decide if we want to add it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's that then, Mattress Man. If you need more soup, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to our website, eatingsoupalone.com. And until next time,